Hello, everybody. We are here in Austin, Texas for Consensus 2022 by CoinDesk, the festival for the decentralized world. And with me, I have today Mike Toutonghi,
Yep.
the lead developer for Verus DeFi. Welcome, Mike.
Thank you.
It's so
Thanks
nice
for
to have
having
you.
me. Yeah, appreciate it.
Mike, can you give us an insight about what Verus DeFi is all about?
Sure. Actually, so Verus DeFi specifically is, I would say, one part of what Verus, the Verus network, the Verus protocol actually is. So the Verus protocol is right now a blockchain L0, L1 protocol.
Okay.
L0 meaning that we do have cross-chain, and also L1 meaning that the consensus and the low-level blockchain protocol.
Right.
This is really what the Verus protocol is, and so we launched the mainnet for the Verus network May 21st, 2018. And since that time, we've released a vision paper. We launched with no ICO, no pre-mine, no developer fee, and really no VC, no investment. It was in the spirit of Bitcoin,
Wow.
a 15-minute notice to the world that the protocol will start in 15 minutes and everyone is welcome to mine and stake. We initially started with a 50% proof of work and 50% proof of stake protocol that we call proof of power.
Okay.
And we have since published a paper proving that the proof of power protocol is 51% hash attack resistant. And so in our vision paper, we described this idea of public blockchains as a service. So our community is a self-selected community of thousands of people worldwide. There is actually not a Verus company. We are, we had or have, somewhere in the range of, I don't know exactly, but 25 or more people here at Consensus, and people who came from the Verus community. They don't work for someone. They came to spread the word, be part of the Verus community, and we are just at the point where every single thing that we described in our vision paper 4 years ago is done.
Okay.
And it was a vision paper. It wasn't a promise that we were doing this. This is our vision for what the world needs with this technology. And everyone is welcome to come join the community and help make this a reality. And we have now everything that we've described. Now, the vision, someone asked me yesterday, what will we do after we complete the vision paper? It's like, well, the vision is kind of like a direction, It laid out technologies. Yes, those technologies are all developed and they're in what we call a release candidate 1 mode for the Verus protocol. And we expect to release these. They are on our public test net, and we expect to release these technologies to the main net within, say, a month or 2 months. So when you say Verus DeFi is one of the technologies that are in this RC1 mode, release candidate 1 mode. And the thing that's unique about Verus DeFi is, rather than being a set of smart contracts or this kind of thing, Verus DeFi is actually part of the L1 and actually the L0 protocol as well. And in this sense, when you have Verus is a multi-blockchain, the Verus protocol in the public blockchains as a service upgrade, which is this RC1 state, is a multi-blockchain with an unlimited number of connected blockchains, a multi-currency where each blockchain can have an unlimited number of currencies that may be originating and launched from that blockchain or any of the other connected blockchains or systems, including in this release will be Ethereum. So any of the currencies that are on Ethereum can be sent to any of the Verus public blockchains as a service blockchains and used on those blockchains, used in the DeFi, for example, sent back to Ethereum. Any of the currencies that are on the Verus network on any of the blockchains can be sent over to the Ethereum network. And if they don't already have an ERC20 representation on the Ethereum network, then the Verus contracts on the Ethereum network will actually auto-generate an ERC20 contract and mapping for these currencies the first time they come over.
Right.
And they will now be able to be sent back and forth from Ethereum to Verus. So basically, it's a little bit of a different vision. Our goal is not to say everyone in the world must come and use the single Verus blockchain.
Right.
Because, okay, so you think about bandwidth. The Verus blockchain runs about 150 transactions per second. Okay, that's a little bit more than the Ethereum blockchain running, 23 transactions per second in that range, or Bitcoin running maybe about 4 transactions per second. But that still isn't enough necessarily for one blockchain to serve the world. And because we're not a company and we didn't have, investors starting the project with motives of profit, and we really are building this as a rent-free public infrastructure for the world. We believe that businesses and communities can be built with business models and profit models, or not, or non-profit models, or public infrastructure models on top of this protocol, which is why we really refer to it often as the Internet of Value. And so the unique thing about Verus DeFi is if you have 2 of these public blockchains as a service, say Verus and another, we have DeFi that can straddle the boundary of these 2. So if you send from Verus to the other blockchain, or from the other blockchain to Verus, the fee that you pay is typically going to be in the native currency of the source chain that you're sending from.
Okay.
But the DeFi liquidity basket will automatically convert that fee, just the fee, into the native currency of the destination blockchain, so that you don't actually need any currency of the destination blockchain in order to send from the source blockchain to the destination. It's and so as somebody who's been in software and computer science for about 40 years, my thinking of what DeFi technology really should be used for is not about miner extracted value, and we do have miner extracted value resistant protocols. It's not about just trading and capturing the differences between things and just pulling in the profit. It's really about enabling new technology to enable use cases for cryptocurrency, for decentralized use and conversion of currencies that will enable people to more seamlessly create and exchange value. Because it's really interesting, and stop me if I've gone too long.
Sure.
But it's really interesting because I didn't actually even think of this until we started enabling these kinds of cross chain with DeFi. You can actually, in our protocol, you can go from one chain to another chain and to another chain, or one chain to another chain and back. You can actually do multiple hops. And the really interesting thing when you start thinking about it is, okay, so you start, say, from the Ethereum chain, and you send, and the send is just, use MetaMask, you send your currency to the Verus blockchain, but maybe you're sending it actually to another blockchain that is completely independent, but it was launched from the Verus blockchain. Maybe the Surya blockchain. You could actually have one. And so I send my currency from Ethereum to Verus, and the Ethereum fees get converted into Verus through Verus DeFi to pay the miners and stakers on the Verus network that's part of the security model
Wow.
of decentralized blockchain consensus, right? And then it takes another hop to the Surya blockchain, and it would then convert the Verus currency into Surya currency, so that the miners and stakers on the Surya blockchain would be able to collect fees in the Surya currency.
Wow.
And now here's the question. So you sent from Ethereum, the fees were originally in Ethereum. They landed on Verus and they are now in Verus. They landed on Surya and they are now in Surya. But each time they went through, they actually have the same value, except for a very, very tiny amount that goes to the liquidity providers in each of the DeFi liquidity baskets that are between the blockchains. So what you're really sending in these fees that are being paid to the different blockchain miners and stakers is just value. Right?
Yeah.
It isn't actually, in a certain sense, a specific currency, because as it moves from system to system, it has the same value.
Right.
But it's just different currencies as it goes. And so
yeah, so I think it's a very unique project that you have. There's one thing I wanted to ask, and I think you've very well defined the whole process of Verus, how it works. You said that you're not a company, or you don't have headquarters, or it's, how does that work? How, that's something we want to know.
It's so like I said, I've been in software and computer science, for decades.
Right.
And it is really the most amazing community and process of how this works that I've seen as well. And people ask me this question, how does that work? You must have a hierarchy. You must have, right? But we don't. And if you look around, I mean, we had a booth at Consensus. We've had, the setup of events that we had at Consensus, where we are right now, actually doing this interview, and all of the placards and designs and memorabilia and all of these things were created by people who just stepped up, and other people from the community who just stepped up and said, okay, you're going to do that, and I'm going to help you, and you're going to do that, and we're going to help. And everything you see around, these were given to us, as the lead developer. I've just been focused on building and designing and building, and people have come and just made these things happen, because that was the vision.
Yeah.
It was what we welcomed everyone to help do, and people came and are making it happen.
And you had about 25 to 30 people for this conference here
at Consensus, who just came from all around the world to help make this real. And they, they just came. They bought their ticket. They booked their hotel, and they came because they're part of the Verus community to set up, and set up the booth and be at the booth and help people understand what we're doing, and all of these things.
I think this is really exciting, because you say there's also no hierarchy, because there's no structure, but it's the community.
It is and it's a worldwide community.
And it's a worldwide community, and the community is involved in it.
Yes.
And when you said that they are the ones who got all of these things, I think I haven't seen a project yet, as far as my experience is concerned in this space, but that's really exciting, and I think it's very, very unique what Verus is doing. So my next question to you is, do you think the world is moving towards decentralization, like a decentralized world? Do you believe in that?
I do believe in that.
Okay.
Is it moving in that direction right now? That is a really, I would say, almost a loaded question. I am not convinced that at the moment that all of the things that we are seeing evolve is actually increasing decentralization the way that I believe we need. Okay. I do believe that we will.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that we're going to be part of helping to make that happen.
Right.
And I think if you think about kind of the genesis of Bitcoin,
Mm-hmm.
A decentralized protocol, truly decentralized protocol, and it is still a truly decentralized protocol. But I think the challenge is that there is so much more that we as humans need from a decentralized protocol than just a single ledger.
Right.
And I know that, with the Taproot upgrade for Bitcoin and these kinds of things, there are many more possibilities, but those have, I would say, yet to be realized.
Mm-hmm.
And so the alternative, if you think about where things are really growing and this excitement around DeFi and these kinds of things, which I think we actually take many steps further,
Mm-hmm.
is when Ethereum, the model for Ethereum was created, it's created by, I think Vitalik is a genius.
Right. Yeah.
But, he was pretty young when he created it. And I think he's in the process of, learning and evolving how
right.
he sees these systems come together. And I think the model actually isn't necessarily the model that might lead us to a truly decentralized world, in the sense that, so if you think of Bitcoin, it is, you would say, a single currency network. Right?
Okay.
If you think of Ethereum, I would say it's actually also a single currency network. Now, everyone might, or many people might say, what do you mean? There are, thousands of currencies on Ethereum.
Right.
Well, that's true in a sense. There are thousands and thousands and thousands of contracts running on this decentralized computer, this decentralized worldwide computer that is Ethereum.
Right.
But each one of those contracts, and especially the ones that are really considered, the leading DeFi contracts, or the leading this kind of DApp contract, or the leading, are they truly decentralized? Are they truly decentralized? If it's a DAO, or if it's a company, or if it's, DAO or company, mostly those are the organizational types that are creating these contracts.
Right.
And there's a group of people who hold the keys to these contracts and everything behind them. Is that model enabling the same level of decentralization as an entire worldwide blockchain, for example, even Ethereum or Bitcoin, and the underlying L1, the layer 1 protocols that drive that blockchain, that are actually powered in, I would say, a proof of work, or we have a proof of stake that doesn't require a minimum investment, for example. We have 50% proof of work, 50% proof of stake. Some kinds of proof of stake algorithms require that you take a large amount of funding and you purchase the currency and lock it up in order to be a validator on that particular protocol. And if you look at that kind of a protocol, again, you're concentrating the number of people to a smaller and smaller number who are actually able to participate in what is the decentralized protocol. And so I see these moves to smaller and smaller numbers of validators, limited by the amount of money they might have. And that isn't really permissionless, in a sense. The idea of a worldwide on-ramp for everyone in the world to be able to say, mine, without funding initially, on their phone or on their computer. That's the decentralization that we believe the world needs. And that is the decentralization that we enable. And that is what I believe will actually happen, because I believe these are better protocols. And so...
Yeah. Well, I think you have really defined what decentralized world should be like.
Thank you.
And you've given a very clear understanding of what is decentralization, and the whole blockchain technology was created for that, So thank you so much, Mike, for talking to us. And to our viewers, I would encourage you to go visit Verus.io and there's a whole ton of information out there. And I think it's a unique, I wouldn't say I think, it is a unique project defining decentralization, defining what is DeFi. So please go ahead and look at its Verus, Verus.io. And thank you, Mike. Thank you so much for talking to us. It was a pleasure.
Absolutely.
And I
Thank
wish you all the best, and your community as a whole,
you.
For the future as well.
Thank you, Surya.
Thank you so much.